What's up, everybody? Happy Wednesday. Kent here from Casual Big Ten. I'm joined by Bet Big Brad and B1G Wilson. We are, get it, guys? Going to give you the picks for Week 5 Big Ten football. Brad, did you like that joke, and how are you doing?
Sorry, I just turned my volume up here a little bit. I didn't know we were ready to go.
Yeah. Well, I got
Just
ready
kidding.
in like 2 minutes, dude. I don't know why
Yeah,
you're
no,
not
it
ready.
was wild how fast that happened. Yeah, was that a Penn State joke? Is that what that was?
It was a reference, I guess, more than a joke. But yeah, we are going to give you the
Yeah, I got it.
picks.
I thought you were about to like name our group because you were like you said each one of us, and you're like we are.
The
I
betting
thought you were gonna give us.
boys.
Yeah, you're gonna give us some kind of name. I was excited.
Yeah, the big boys.
the big boy betters.
Put your big boy pants on. That's enough of you, though. Wilson, how are you today?
I'm doing all right. Is it a bad thing that when you said we are, my head initially went to we are Marshall? Does that make me not a Big Ten guy?
I think it kind of does, because don't they? Theirs is all one thing. It's like we are Marshall, isn't it?
I don't know.
Or do they do the we are, and then someone else says Marshall?
It's how I feel it should go, but
Okay.
I'm not a Mac guy either. Are they even in the Mac? I don't know.
Yes.
Anyway, I'm doing great, Kent. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. Couldn't be better. Before we get started with these picks, about this time every week we do a quick Detroit Lions recap. Wilson, your thoughts on beating the Arizona Cardinals?
Jared Goff is trash.
Wow.
Brad? I'm not going to respond to that, Brad.
I mean, we'll take the W for sure. I'm a little concerned with the offensive production from a points standpoint. We're gaining the yards.
Hmm.
And we closed out the game with the big throw to the sun god on the third down. But Sam Laporta seems like he's out with an ankle, and he's been hurt already. He's clearly a key piece in this offense that seems to be missing. And I don't know. We're not going to beat many teams without scoring in the second half. I'll tell you that.
That's for sure. Excited about this Monday night game coming up against Seattle. I just got to get that out of the way because we're all Lions fans, and I like to do the quick Lions update. Let's get into the betting stuff, though. I promised that this was going to be the best produced show ever, and if you're watching live right now, you just witnessed part of that. Wilson, we're going to start with your picks on the screen right now.
Yeah.
Actually, I did. I just said it was going to be the best one. It's not. Here's your picks from last week. Sorry, I had your actual picks from this week. Overall, 14, 10, and 1, I think that says. How do you feel about your week, and do you remember who you took as your lock as I pull it up?
Yeah, I have it up. I feel pretty good about it. The one game really sticks out to me that really made it so I didn't win again was the Boston College Michigan State. Went 0 for 2. Can't have that happen, especially when you guys are finding your groove. But overall, got a point on everything other than the Penn State one, which was a push. So can't complain too much,
So you had Iowa minus 2.5. That was a pretty easy cover. It was looking a little scary in the first half at first, and then just really dominated the second half, I thought. Really dominating performance. You missed on USC, obviously. I feel like everyone missed on that. All three of us picked that. You had it as a lock. I think that all the experts pretty much thought USC was going to win. And then what did you say your third one was? The Illinois one?
To cover the spread.
Massive win for Illinois. Massive. That's like your team, your second team, I feel like, right?
It is, and it's all because of Bert. It's the only reason.
Big Bert. Big Bert dog.
Got a thing for Bert.
But like I said, 14, 10, and 1 overall. We switch over to Brad. Last week, our winner, just by a hair. We had to have a conversation about this because you actually got 2 games where you pushed on a lock, basically, and that gave you less losses, but you still had 14 wins. I just sent you the $5 today, by the way. like
I got it.
about an hour before we started this, maybe a little bit more. How'd you feel about your week?
Overall, it was good. It just feels, normal. It feels like we're back to normal now with me winning, right? Doesn't everybody feel regular? Like this is how it's supposed to go?
Yeah.
You want a technicality.
Things have been really off with Wilson winning.
I was just
throwing me
noticing
off.
that when I pulled up the picks from last week, I just read your picks as Wilson's, but he also had USC. Did I? No, I didn't. I read
No.
it right. Okay,
No.
I got confused because you guys both had USC as a lock. So you had USC, you had
Yeah.
over the push in the Penn State game, and
Yeah.
then your last one was Rutgers. That was like the easiest one I feel like of the week. I should have locked that one in as well. So those were your locks. I'm sorry. Got a little confused there because you guys both had USC. I thought I was reading the same one again.
Yep. No, overall, I did well. I did well with my real bets this past weekend as well in the college game, and then I lost it all on the NFL games. But we don't have to talk about that. Yeah, and then that USC Michigan game killed me on here, and it killed me in real life too. I had a parlay going that might have been the easiest pick
Mm-hmm.
of my 5 legs, and that was the only one that didn't hit, and I lost out on $250.
Okay, well, don't make that mistake with Michigan again this week, maybe, I would
I didn't.
suggest.
I didn't.
But I'm not one to suggest things because for the second week in a row, I was under 500, 11, 13, and 1. Of course, the one push in that same game that we all pushed in. My locks last week, Northwestern against Washington plus 10.5. I still feel like that was a smart pick, but they didn't score a touchdown. So I guess maybe not, but their defense held up, I thought, decently. Like, you score a couple of touchdowns in this game, and I'm winning that. So that's just bad offense and a bad pick by me, I guess. I did hit Oregon State over Purdue. I'm going to kind of stay with that trend starting today, actually. And then I also I missed on LSU covering 24 against UCLA. I don't know how they did not do that.
Yeah, that was wild.
Just insane. Any thoughts about my picks, Wilson?
Need you to start to pick it up a little bit. I think you're getting real close to that 500 overall line, and you're going to make us all look bad. So please finish above 500 for the group.
I promise you I'm doing my best. This is the best I can do. But I will try better. Brad, what are your thoughts about my picks? Because I just realized I had to look one more thing up before we move on to the next segment.
I told you before your Northwestern pick was going to be a mistake, and it was correct. I'm sorry. So I'm looking forward to your picks this week so I can also give you some more pointers.
All right, sounds good. Last week, we also put out a Google form and had people that were following on Twitter, they were able to submit their picks. And our winner for last week going 13, 11, and 1, so he would have beat me but not you guys, was TJ, and that is @Chief TJC. Looks like an Illinois fan. He's got the Illinois old like Chief logo as his avatar. So shout out to TJ. You guys have any thoughts for TJ? 13, 11, and 1.
He could be on the show.
He could be. He'd be beating me, I think. I'm hoping that he does another one this week. We had many more people already submit picks for week 5 already, so it'll be interesting to see who the winner is next week, and we will report back and give that person a shout-out once those picks are complete. Let's get into it, though. I'm starting today. This is the overall records, by the way, for anyone that cares. Brad, 57, 46, and 46. I'm 53 and 51, as Wilson said, getting really close to 500. And then Wilson, 30 games over 500 right now, 67 and 37. Absolutely,
Jesus Christ.
absolutely testicles crazy. Like, it is insane, dude. It is insane. I guess I will get your thoughts on that before we move on, Wilson. 30 games?
I thought I was doing bad last week, but ended up still 14 and 10. Let's see if I can keep it going, boys. Looking forward to that.
Keep getting higher.
Looking forward.
I was about to say what's happening.
Looking forward to that steak dinner you guys are going to buy me in Indianapolis this year at St. Elmo's.
It's looking like that at this point. It's looking like you're getting a free one. I feel like I'm completely out of it, but realistically, I'm only 14 games behind you right now. So, like, a lot could change quick.
Oh, yeah.
But I feel like we do think alike on a lot of these picks, so I don't know. Maybe I'll never catch up. Who knows?
What week are we on?
It's locks.
We're on week 5, so if you count this one, there's 9 more weeks.
Oh, damn.
I'd have to beat you like basically every week though, or beat you like by a lot one of these weeks. I feel like for me to catch up, which is okay. I never feel like I'm really gonna win, so it's whatever. All right, let's get into this week's picks. I will go first, as I said. All my picks are on the screen right now. I am locking in. First and foremost, I got to get this out of the way. I'm going with Penn State minus 18 against Illinois. Yep, I'm doing it. I'm doing it partially because I think Penn State's really good, first of all. They're at home. It's going to be whiteout energy. I don't know if you guys heard about this. And
I did see that.
Also, I've been getting shit on by Illinois fans for my preseason pick, so I cannot, in good conscience, root for them anymore. By the way, quick side note, I got a free $133 from Fanatics Sportsbook, and I turned that, like, bonus bet, basically, into $200. So I got my jersey for free plus some, by the way. For all you Illinois fans that were, like, happy that I had to spend my money, I got it all back. Bitches. But I'm going with Penn State minus 18, though. Thoughts?
I think that's the hardest game for this week.
Tough.
I don't hate it. This is a tough one. I can see it going, so spoiler alerts. I don't have either of these picks, but I see this game either if it's a high-scoring game, Penn State covers and it's over 48, but if Illinois covers at 18, I think it'll be under that 48.
So, did you pick Penn State then or no? Because it's not
I
one of your
did Penn
locks.
State in the under to split the difference.
Okay.
Because I'm worried about going 0 for this game, so I wanted to get at least one.
I got you. But you really liked Illinois then, and you just kind of split the difference? Or
I
no?
can see them losing by like 17 to 21.
Yeah, I got you. Brad, I'll actually get your thoughts when we throw it over to you next. My second pick is going to be Nebraska minus 10 against Purdue. I can't see a scenario where a really mad Nebraska team doesn't blow this team out. I just don't like Purdue. And then my last one, I'll just finish up. I'm going over the smallest over-under of the weekend in the Michigan-Minnesota game. It's set at 36. And I know that these teams play slow. I know they run the ball a lot. I just feel like that's a very small number, a very, very small number, especially because I can't remember the exact number, but Iowa scored a lot on Minnesota last week. So, Brad, you with me on that? Are you picking that over as well?
Did I? I was going back and forth on it. What did I officially do? No, I picked under. Because I think it's gonna be like 24-10. Michigan.
That's so close though.
I know.
I think Michigan is this year's Iowa from last year. And I think Iowa's offense this year is significantly better than Michigan's this year.
I'll agree with that second.
Significantly.
Well, let's not.
You guys had 30 passing yards against USC.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Okay.
This game is going to be 2 hours long, and it's going to end up being like 14-3.
It could be that too.
I don't know, man.
I also don't think Minnesota might not score at all. So I don't see Michigan putting up 36.
Minnesota ain't that bad on offense.
Michigan put up 24 last week, and 7 of it was a pick 6. I'd be surprised if Michigan scores more than 17 this week.
I would like to submit a side bet on that. Well, we can do that offline. Let's see who's next here. We got Brad. You're up next. Give us your locks for this week. Give us your Mike Loxleys.
All right, I like your Purdue Nebraska game pick. I also was thinking about putting that as a lock, but instead I went with the over in that game as a lock, just because Purdue can't stop anybody, and it turns out Nebraska can't either. And side note, real quick, if I could just on Nebraska, that was my first time watching them, so I don't have like the full, depth of their entire season so far. But from what I saw, I'm not allowing their fans to claim black shirts and do this on every third down with the bones and the cross. No, y'all got to give that up. It's not real this year,
It was real. It was real
right?
before that game.
Before that game, it was okay.
It
like
was.
I said,
I felt like it was. I felt
disclaimer.
like they were back.
I don't know, man. That they were horrible
I'm
against
sorry.
Illinois.
I'm really sorry.
They couldn't stop them at all. They made me look bad with my Fluke Altmaier comment.
They did.
He
They
looked
made
like
me
a
look
legit
bad. I had to buy
quarterback.
a jersey.
He looked like a legit quarterback in that game.
I had to buy a jersey, sir. I do not feel bad for you.
I mean, I know it's like ingrained in their program, but if you don't have the players to I feel like you just got to give it up for a year. You know?
What if they shut out Purdue this weekend? Will you be impressed again or not? Because it's Purdue.
No, because it's Purdue.
Okay.
You got to give
I'd
me
be impressed. A shutout, I'd be impressed.
Well, that's going to hurt my over though, because they're not scoring 46 or whatever it is.
47.
47. So anyway, I have the over because I think both defenses are not great. Purdue's got to score a few points at home, and Nebraska's offense was scoring at will. So, I like that over, is what I'm trying to get at.
Okay. What's your? I don't really have an opinion on that. I picked that over, but I just thought it was because of like people can score a lot on Purdue, and I feel like you said, Nebraska maybe let in a little bit too much against Illinois, but I'm okay with it. Did you go over on that, Wilson?
Seems like you agree with me 100% then.
I know,
I
but
did,
but I
and
didn't lock it though. Is what I'm saying though. It's not like I was like super confident in it. Wilson?
Yes, I did also go over.
Okay, sorry to bother you. Brad, what's your second pick?
My second pick, and I'm going opposite of you just because I got burned by them last time, and instead of doubling down, I'm going the opposite way, and I'm rocking with Illinois plus the 18.
It's a lot of points.
It is a lot of points, and if they're going to be talking big boy football, you gotta be in the game. You gotta at least lose by less than 2 scores at Penn State. 18 that's a lot of points, man.
The thing about Penn State though is I always feel like they want to win by a lot. Like it's not like they're going to be comfortable and like kind of pull it if they get up by 3 touchdowns or something like that. They're not going to pull it back.
No, they're not.
They're going to keep trying to score more and score more. Like they're not like going to take the air out of the ball.
Right.
If you
so this is the week that we find out what Illinois really is, I guess.
I agree. I'm really excited about this. I said it's the game of the week in the whole country. Because but maybe because of like what I hear on Twitter about, mainly Illinois fans. Like I said, I hear a lot from them, so like it's a big game for them for sure. All right, what's your last pick?
My last one, I went back and forth on, but I ended up feeling confident with Maryland plus 7. I think that's going to actually be a pretty good game. The one reason I'm leaning towards Maryland, they've been a little bit more battle tested. Indiana's starting to get some hype around them because they're putting up a lot of points, but they haven't played nobody. And Maryland's played 2 or 3 good games. So I like them keeping it within 7 at least at Indiana. And I'm still just not a 100% believer yet in them. But like I said, these teams could all be burning me.
That was like the big game that when you were like, we're going to find out about Illinois, and Indiana immediately jumped in my mind because like they're getting a little reckless right now about the way that they're talking to people and their
Right.
football team.
Right.
So, same thing. Like, we're going to find out real quick about them as well because, Maryland's not Penn State, but they're not going to just walk in and get walked over by Indiana for sure. Wilson,
No.
what do you think about that game? I'm excited about that one.
So am I, which is never in my life would I have thought I say those words when
Right.
talking about an Indiana and Maryland football game. But this is outside of Penn State, Illinois. This is probably my second favorite game of this week in terms of quality of watching. But like you guys said, I mean, Indiana can't lose this game if they want to be a serious contender. If people take them seriously, you just can't lose to Maryland. So
At home.
Definitely not. Definitely not. All right, your picks are on the screen now. Wilson, what are your 3 locks for this week?
Yep. So I think I went with Brad. It was also took the over in the Nebraska at Purdue game of 47 points. I almost also did a double lock on one game because I do like that Nebraska -10, but I decided to stay away from it.
Hold on. Before you continue, I don't think we would allow that. Are we allowed to do that?
I don't see why not.
Yeah. You're putting on a spread and a over under. It's a different pick.
Oh, I thought you were saying on the same pick.
Oh, like
Oh,
no,
no.
you can't do. You definitely can't do that.
Like triple lock, like one game and get
No,
4
no,
points
no.
for it.
I would have done one on the spread and one on the over, but I just did it on the over. 'Cause
I'm sorry.
I can see Nebraska having a little bit of a letdown to start.
Okay.
Because that was a disappointing loss, but that's why I didn't do that. But anyway, my second lock is the Michigan -9 versus Minnesota. I think Minnesota is very, very bad. Michigan doesn't have that great of an offense, but I think they'll be able to wear down Minnesota's line and be able to get, 10, 14 point lead.
I like that.
Third and final one, the over in the Michigan State-Ohio State game set at 48. I think this is going to be a massacre. Multiple turnovers, potential pick sixes, punt returns, kick returns. Just
Damn.
like a 59-3 game. Just absolute butt
No
whooping.
way, dude. No
That's what I
shot.
feel.
I'm seeing this game completely the opposite of you. And, again, I have no areas to talk when it comes to picking games against you, of all people. But I'm just seeing this play out different. It's the first road game for Ohio State. And you want to talk about, not playing people. Who's Ohio State played?
Marshall.
Nobody.
R. Marshall.
To go full circle on that. But, I mean, they've scored about 48 points themselves every game, so. Michigan State's defense has improved. I just don't think their offense is going to be able to hold the ball long enough to give them a break, so their defense is going to wear down, and it's just going to be the dams or gates are going to open.
Yeah, I'm not projecting that, Michigan State's going to pull an upset here. It's 24 points for a reason, but I just feel like it's going to be closer to 24 than it will be to, what did you just say, 56?
59-3.
I think it'll be closer to the 24 number for sure. And I actually, like I said, I took Michigan State with the points just for those plain and simple reasons. It's a home game for the Spartans. Ohio State hasn't played anybody. It's still a Big Ten matchup. It's not like they're just going to walk in and put up 100 points. And, there's been – Ohio State's good. Don't get it twisted. But they have shown that there's some holes on this team still. They're not a perfect team. Marshall scored first on them. It was 7-0 Marshall. Did you guys know that?
Yeah.
So, I
We
don't
are.
know, man. That's the starting defense that they shouldn't be letting up points against them. And then some of the other games they've just shown, here and there, that they're not perfect is basically what I'm getting at. Brad, how are you seeing this game? I think this is another interesting one just because of how big the line is.
It is. I don't know. In the past 5 or 6 years, the biggest thing with the Michigan State-Ohio State game is Michigan State has given up the big play, like multiple big plays. Like whenever they wanted to get them, they could have them. That's one thing that the Michigan State defense hasn't done this year is given up like long runs or long passes. Like they've broken down sometimes, but they've pretty much kept a lot of things in front of them. And they've been pretty solid. I don't know. I don't see it as 59-3.
I don't think Wilson really sees that either. He's being
I
dramatic.
think he does.
Again, my pick was over anyway. That's my lock, not the spread. But
I got you. But if you
Yeah.
think Michigan State's
I-
gonna, like, if you think Michigan State's only going to score 3, though, then you're saying that the game's going to be what, 46-3?
I picture this to being a lot like Washington at Michigan State last year, where Ohio State can come in and pick whatever final score they want, and that was what it will be. It could end up being like 60-0 if they really wanted it to.
Well, there's two
I don't know, man.
responses for that. Number one, I don't think that Ohio State at this moment is better than what Washington was at that moment last year. And I'm positive that this Michigan State team is better than the one that was on the field last year for sure. So I can't see it happening. I just don't see it, man. I could be wrong. Again, man, you're seeing the board better than me. I can't really say.
If I had to put a score on it, I would say 42-17, which covers the 24.5. It's 25
and the over.
and over.
Yeah, I'm going with a little bit more of a slugfest, just because Coach Smith. I think he can get his guys to like turn this into just a battle. Basically, is what I'm getting at. So that's why I went under, and that's why I kept Michigan State within the points. So I like Coach Smith, man. He's been doing good. I feel like I put out a tweet last week about Michigan State, speaking of while we're on the topic, and I said that Michigan State's better than what you think they are. That was the tweet. And a lot of people were like, no, they're not. No, they're not. No, they're not. Dude, they went and beat Maryland on the road. Big win, I think. So far in this season, you look at who's everyone played and who's got the best wins. It's Michigan has the best win right now, probably, against USC. And then USC has the second best win. But after that, it's like, who really has a win that you can hang your hat on right now and be like, this is a win that could get us into the college football playoff? No one does. So Maryland is like, one of the better wins that's happened this year. And then going to Boston College last week and being right in that game, I thought every opportunity to win, couple bad mistakes, raining, all sorts of stuff happens on the road. It's just, I don't know, man. I think they're better than what people are giving them credit for. I like Michigan State this year. And again, not saying they're going to beat Ohio State, but I think they're better than what people think they are. Am I crazy?
No. As a Michigan State fan, I like Smith and the direction we're going so far.
I also have $100 on the over, so maybe I'm just like hoping that they're going to get to that 6th win like really badly.
Well,
Wishful thinking.
Our schedule is a little harder than I thought it was going to be now, because the next 4 games for Michigan State, we go home versus Ohio State, at Oregon, home versus Iowa, at Michigan, home versus Indiana, then at Illinois. We could lose all 6 of those.
Dude, come on, man. Don't say that to me.
I'm just saying.
You're not going to lose all 6.
We do play Purdue, though, so that's another dub in our record.
Here's a good thing. Here's something I'll say about Michigan State. I think that on a neutral field, like no one has home field advantage, I think that Michigan State versus Illinois would be closer than Illinois versus Penn State. Like, I think you guys are closer to Illinois than Penn State is.
Yeah.
And I don't think anyone would, like, go out on that big of a limb and say that right now because everyone's so high on Illinois. But maybe I'm crazy, though. Maybe I'm crazy. Anyways. All right. Anything else, guys? I'm done.
Nope.
Nothing.
Wow. Thanks. Go check out the Twitter. I put the form on the tweet earlier. If you guys want to be a part of the picks, you can be like Chief TJC from last week, our big winner. You'll get announced in our results tweet. We'll talk about you next week, possibly make fun of you. And we'll be back next Wednesday, I believe. Enjoy the games this week. Friday, Saturday. Fun games. 8 Big Ten matchups. That's good. All right. We'll see y'all next week, though.